Each level of learning and teaching has its own special significance. Higher education is the longest period in most people's lives when they take part in formal training and they can meet with powerful thoughts and thinkers regularly. Ideally, students learn the art of capturing the essence of a particular subject and to think critically about it. Since graduates from higher education are about to enter the world of work, this is the point where decision-making for the future can be most effectively influenced. If a child is well cared for in nursery, society will only benefit from it 20 to 25 years later as the child matures to an adult. On the other hand, a college student will recoup what they have learnt as a decision maker in only a few years. Therefore, it is important to pay close attention to higher education in order to achieve the United Nations Sustainable Development Goals, SDGs. The title Agenda 2030 predisposes our desire to achieve the SDGs by 2030. Although the chances for this may be small, one of the prerequisites for achieving these goals is to weave SDGs into the higher education curriculum, from life sciences through to engineering and to law and economics. The Sustainable Development Goals outline the path to a more viable, fairer and environmentally sustainable world in 17 major headings with their 169 accompanying targets. In order for these words to become actions and policies, young people who are now students, but soon to be leaders, must think and learn to make decisions according to sustainability goals while undertaking their current university training. Holistic thinking is the key to achieving the SDGs. Universal, comprehensive and contextual critical thinking must become the paramount skill of recent graduates. First, this allows them to make professional and ethical decisions in their specialised field, while considering social, economic and environmental challenges at a local, national and global scale. These skills are primarily a state of mind. Secondly, an awareness of finance, monetary policy, healthcare, education, urbanisation, biodiversity, energy policy, global capital movement, transport policy, demography, and so on. This knowledge should be sufficiently thorough to be able to question the current undisputed traditional solutions of their own particular field of expertise. There are good examples worth learning about and following. The National Public Service University in Hungary has recently published a textbook which teaches about the role of the state in achieving the Sustainable Development Goals. Can more be asked of the Hungarian public administration than to embrace sustainable development ideas? Other comprehensive, institutional-level good practice can be found abroad. The second oldest university in Italy, University of Padova, has a sustainability strategy at institutional level, and its lecturers must add the appropriate SDGs and cross-links to their ongoing courses. For example, the Forestry Economics and Policy course highlights SDG 1, Zero Poverty, SDG 8, Fair Work and Economic Growth, SDG 13, Climate Change, and 4 other topics that may be involved in professional decisions. Another good practice example comes from the UK. The UK National Union of Students is working at the highest level to ensure that the Sustainable Development Goals are taught and integrated into higher education curricula and traineeships, and that the goals are spread further via scholarships and incentives. The overall picture shows that the shattered higher education system has a hard time to fulfil even its basic functions. In order to enable higher education to truly fulfill its mission in achieving global sustainable development goals, politicians should take 2 steps as soon as possible. Firstly, the funding of universities must be restored to a sustainable level whereby a standard of minimum service is set in terms of field trips, equipment and practical trainings. Secondly, the human resources of universities must be replenished, as university education is primarily a people-dependent process, only secondarily an infrastructure issue. In 1600, students built a timber platform in Padova for Galileo Galilei so that everyone could see the professor during his lectures. For this enthusiasm for learning to continue, one must keep our Galileos, preferably by honouring them and allowing their creative freedom to thrive. If we can do this, the platforms will be built on their own. Academic staff, students and public figures are responsible for integrating the SDGs in higher education, and the way in which to achieve this is to speak out in their favour.